Well, the Marvels trailer just came out. By the time you guys are seeing this, 2 days ago, that would be on April 11th, 2023. And all I have to really say about the trailer is it's a whole lot of nothing. Right, I might show some clips of this, the clips of this trailer right here, and maybe some more throughout this if I feel like it. But anyway, this article from the Hollywood Reporter: the Marvel's trailer sees Brie Larson team up with Tiana Paris and Iman Vellani on a mission that "quote unquote" changes everyone. Whoops, hit my mic stand. Directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Megan McDonnell, the sequel to Captain Marvel arrives in theaters on November 10th. Yes, for those that don't remember, this originally started as Captain Marvel 2. And then it was changed to the Marvels. I believe it was changed either in like 2020 or 2021. It was somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly when it was changed to the Marvels, but it originally started off as Captain Marvel 2. The trailer for the Marvel shows Captain Marvel soaring higher, faster, and farther, this time with a pair of allies by her side. The Marvels is the sequel to 2019's film Captain Marvel, which starred Brie Larson. In the sequel, Larson is joined by Iman Vellani, the breakout of the Disney Plus series Miss Marvel, right? Yeah, the breakout Disney Plus show that no one but fucking watched. And even other media outlets were reporting that Miss Marvel was the least watched Marvel series on Disney Plus. So yeah, a real breakout role for a show that nobody watched. As well as Tiana Paris as the grown-up version of Captain Marvel character Monica Rambeau. The actor made her Marvel debut with WandaVision, which counted the Marvel screenwriter Megan McDonnell among its writers. The Marvels is directed by Candyman filmmaker Nia DaCosta, and finds the heroes linked in a quite inconvenient way. Anytime one of them uses their powers, they switch locations with one another, as was teased in the season finale of Miss Marvel last year. So once again, you're following up, this movie is going to be following up a show that no one ever watched, and I guarantee you, this movie, I guarantee you, The Marvels is not going to drive people to go out and go, you know what? I really want to watch Miss Marvel today. Yeah, no, because especially if you look at Miss Marvel, and I know I'm tangenting, but with regards to Miss Marvel, they're following Kamala Khan, who was the least popular iteration of Miss Marvel. But if you look at it from Marvel's perspective, there's only two Miss Marvels that were really mainstream. The first one was Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers was the original Miss Marvel, but you can't do a Miss Marvel series with Carol Danvers because you've already made Carol Danvers Captain Marvel in the MCU. So who's the only other Miss Marvel that you can use? Well, that would be... that would be Kamala Khan, who, yes, generated headlines when she first debuted, I think in 2013. It might have been 2014. The more I think about it, I think it may have actually been 2014, but still, Kamala Khan was the least popular iteration of Miss Marvel and only generated headlines for the sake of identity politics. So it's not surprising that nobody watched the Disney Plus series, because why is anyone gonna care about Miss Marvel? But anyway, in the trailer, Beastie Boys' Intergalactic is the soundtrack for this team up of marvelous proportions, as Nick Fury attempts to lead the trio of seasoned and less seasoned heroes through a somewhat zany mission that promises to quote-unquote change everything and everyone. And look, I understand that this is a teaser trailer, don't get me wrong, but who's the big bad of the movie? Right, I know that they're teasing the team up, but like, what's the movie even about? There has to be more to it than just teaming these characters up. I mean, when the Avengers teaser initially dropped, that's all that they marketed was, we're going to team up Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, and Thor, and it worked. But this was back in 2012. We're now in 2023, and the MCU is no longer new, fresh, and exciting. This is now established. You have to show a little more other than, hey, we're gonna team up Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau and a character from a Disney Plus show that nobody watched. Get super duper excited. If this movie came out 10 years ago, there might be a lot more excitement, but right now there, where's all the excitement? Where are the people fawning over this trailer? I've been looking for the last couple of days. I personally haven't seen it. The first Captain Marvel grossed over $1 billion at the box office and was helmed by filmmakers Anna Boden and Ronald K. Fleck. It was set in the 1990s and tied into Avengers Endgame. Marvel first showed off the Marvels at D23 last year. So let's go through this point. The first Captain Marvel grossed over $1 billion at the box office. Now this article that I'm jumping to is something completely unrelated. It's from MovieWeb. That is from Ant-Man to Captain Marvel: Why De-Aging Effects Can Be a Double-Edged Sword. But there's a couple of paragraphs in here where they make some very good points, and I think I've brought this up before. And that point is Captain Marvel didn't make $1 billion on its own merit. It is true that Captain Marvel made north of $1 billion at the box office. However, this figure would never have been so high if the highly anticipated Avengers Endgame was not looming with a release date only a month and a half later. This is not to say that Captain Marvel is a bad movie. Now, I'll interject right here. Captain Marvel was not the worst movie in the world. It was just generic, right? If people weren't losing their minds over the, what makes her a hero, all the agenda driven stuff, which was clearly added in post-production, Captain Marvel would have just been remembered as just generic superhero movie number 652. Right, that's all it would have been. But anyway, back to MovieWeb here. With indie classics like 2006's Half Nelson, starring Ryan Gosling as a history teacher addicted to crack, and 2015's Mississippi Grind, Captain Marvel directors Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck are a duo to be reckoned with. Still $1 billion? As good as the film is, there is simply no chance that Captain Marvel would have made that much money if Marvel fans hadn't been rabid for the follow-up to the MCU's downbeat cliffhanger from Avengers Infinity War, which smacks of the ending from The Empire Strikes Back. Kevin Feige and other powers that be at Marvel Studios deserve all the credit in the world for Captain Marvel's massive success. It's genuinely surprising that no other Hollywood studio has ripped off the Captain Marvel marketing strategy. Let's go back to here. It's genuinely surprising that no other Hollywood studio has ripped off the Captain Marvel marketing strategy. They can't rip off the Captain Marvel marketing strategy because they haven't had a series that they built up over 10 years like the MCU did. So what are other studios going to take from the Captain Marvel marketing strategy? But they do have a good point, is that the first Captain Marvel movie did not gross over $1 billion on its own. And keep in mind also why it made over $1 billion, because it was also marketed as quote-unquote must-see to understand Avengers Endgame, right? You don't have to watch Captain Marvel to watch Avengers Endgame. Her role was severely diminished in Avengers Endgame, and in fact, it also goes to show you just how much faith Marvel has in Captain Marvel. That this movie, The Marvels, originally started as Captain Marvel 2, but then was changed to The Marvels to include Monica Rambeau, who was the more popular iteration of Captain Marvel, by the way, and Miss Marvel. So once again, I'll reiterate again, and then we'll finish up this article, that it really shows, Marvel and Disney's confidence level in Captain Marvel as a standalone character. The Marvels arrives in theaters November 10th and is part of an MCU slate that includes Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that comes out on May 5th. On the small screen, the studio is also expected to unveil Loki Season 2, starring Tom Hiddleston, as well as Secret Invasion, which stars Jackson as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as the Skrull Talos. That series was set up by a post-credit scene in Spider-Man Far From Home, in which Nick Fury is seen on an alien ship. And once again, I think the trailer for The Marvels probably would have made a little more sense had it come out after Secret Invasion had wrapped up, because to me this trailer is just a whole lot of nothing, as I put in the thumbnail, right? So I think the release of this trailer is just really, really bad timing. Why release this trailer in early April? And like I said, I understand that it's a teaser trailer, but put the teaser trailer after the last episode Secret Invasion, it might have generated a lot more excitement than it does now, because you know what people are really honestly excited for at this point? It's not the Marvels. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That movie, I predict, is going to do really, really well. And it's because the first two movies have so much goodwill was built up over those first two movies. And the fact that the Guardians of the Galaxy series has always been standalone, hopefully Volume 3 continues that. But still, I think more people are gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and they're just going to skip the Marvels entirely. And one last point that I want to make is that this movie just kept getting delayed, referring to the Marvels, and they delayed it all the way to November 10th. Now, you may be asking yourself, why did Disney delay this movie all the way until November 10th? And the truth of the matter is because the Walt Disney Company's fiscal year runs from October 1st to September 30th. Right, this is what most people don't understand about companies, is that as a company, as an LLC or an S corp or a C corp, which is what the Walt Disney Company is. Right, companies pick their fiscal year. They don't pay their taxes in April unless that's when their fiscal year runs. No, a company will actually pick its fiscal year. So why not end their fiscal year with the success of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but then push the Marvels, if you don't have a lot of confidence, in a movie performing, push the movie that you don't have a lot of confidence in performing into the next fiscal year. That way, if it bombs, at least it's at the beginning of the fiscal year and not at the end of the fiscal year. So I just have to wonder, are you guys even excited for the Marvels? I certainly am not, but I'm genuinely curious. Like I said, I don't really see a lot of people really hyping this trailer up, and I think it really shows Marvel's waning relevance.